Good morning from Panhandle Outdoors, America's only daily outdoor TV show. Your source for fishing, hunting, and information for folks who enjoy the great outdoors. Now sit back, relax. It's Panhandle Outdoors.
Good morning, folks. Welcome to Panhandle Outdoors. I'm Winston Chester. Glad you're with us on this Monday morning, starting the last week of January 2025. My, how time flies. Let's take a look at our weather, brought to us by Gulf Coast Air Conditioning. Drew Pollard and his hard-working crew taking care of our everyday comfort needs. It's going to be a little more comfortable today than it was last week. High's going to get up to 50, actually going to get up to 64. We got a heat wave coming in, and lows only going to get down to 53. So none of the snow's left, so y'all have to get back to doing your regular things now outdoors and don't be building snowmans anymore. Look at our water temperature, brought to us by Alco Electric out of Lynn Haven, electrical contractors up there. We're looking at 55 degrees at the end of the pier, 55 degrees. Moon phase, brought to us by Panama City Coca-Cola. We're right now at a new moon. Technically, Wednesday night will be the new moon, and 2 more weeks we'll be having a full moon. So we got some dark nights. If you want to get out and do some floundering or some coon hunting, it'll be a good night to do it. Tide chart brought to us by Kent Forest Lawn. Today's the 27th, and what strong tides we have today. We're looking at a low tide this morning at 6:26 and a high tide tonight at 8:05. Good strong tide. Our wind direction, the first time I've said this in a while, coming out of the south at about 5 to 10. All right, let's take a break. We'll come back with our special guest. Okay, welcome back, and welcome our guest on a regular basis, a consummate outdoorsman, hard-working man. How about Daniel Cole? Good morning.
Good morning, Winston. How you doing?
I'm doing well. I love having our advertisers, sponsors that are outdoorsmen like us and sharing all these things. We spend a lot more time talking about outdoors than about anything, and you've had a pretty good year. What you been up to?
I've had a good season.
Yeah.
So we, I think it was back in, the first doe weekend, we killed 2 8 points.
Oh, let's see, we got those pictures. We got a picture right here. This is back in November, so that in itself is nice right there. I mean, that's a good season right there. Okay.
Yeah, I've seen a lot bigger deer on camera and Facebook, but for me, for a Florida deer, I was pretty satisfied with that.
And you hunt up there where?
We're up in Bluntstown.
In Bluntstown, Calhoun County. Okay.
Yep.
And so then you didn't sit down and stay home. You just stayed in.
Well, the next doe weekend I went back out, and both of these happened on the last day of doe weekend. But I went out, and when I go for a while. I mean, I'm in the stand by 2 o'clock, and I'm going to sit it out. I know a lot of people say, man, get there at 3:34. They don't come out till late. I want everything dead quiet, and I want 2 hours for everything to move around before the hunting cycle even starts. So I spent a lot of time on stand, but then I had this beautiful doe come out, and I wanted to get her, but she was immediately ran off by this scraggly 4-point because the rut's starting. So I waited another hour, and another doe come out, and same deer came out, ran that one off too. So I'm like, I know this guy's going to just keep running them off. And the whole time he was feeding. When they would show up to feed, that's when he'd run them off. So finally, I got down to where I only had about 35 minutes of actual legal shooting hours left. And so I said, this guy's going to keep running them off. So I took a gamble, and I shot the ground at his feet. And it spooked him, and he ran off, which is what I was hoping for. And then it was like, all right, that may have scared everything off.
Yeah.
But it was a gamble. Otherwise, nothing was going to happen. Well, it wasn't 5 minutes after he cleared out of there, 2 does come out. And one had a yearling with her, and the other one didn't have one. I studied her for a while, about 10 minutes, I guess. No baby, nothing, no evidence of any trailing or anything like that. So I went ahead. She was at 100 yards, and I took her out. As I was backing out of the window, I caught something step out down the lane. She was at 100 yards. At about 200 yards, another one stepped out, and it was an 8-point.
Oh.
So I put it on him, neck shot him, dropped him right in his tracks. And that was all. I think I had 20 minutes of shooting light left that I could actually have taken something. So if I hadn't, I took the gamble and ran the 4-point off with a shot. I'd have never had that opportunity.
That is so interesting because we're always talking about the noise and spooking deer and all that. And you know, I've always felt this really that they hear gunshots
all
in the
day.
woods, and they hear them, and I don't think it spooks them as much as twig and everything, limbs breaking and stuff like that.
Max, my buddy, we've been on his range shooting, and we'll be shooting at targets at 300 yards and have deer walk between us and the target and stop and start to feed.
Isn't that something?
While we were shooting. So, yeah, they're not. But that sand and gravel and stuff hitting at his feet, jumping up, that gave him the impetus to move on. So he did. And
what a smart move. And you know, think about it. As outdoorsmen, we gamble and take a chance to do this. It could be fishing or hunting. You know, I think you'll move your boat over here, or whatever. I think the fish over here. So we have to take chances and take a gamble on it.
That's
It
right.
hasn't paid off. I say it paid off. Here's the. Let's look at the 8-point. How about that one right there? Is that so? This was first of all. I always look for the shot. This is a neck shot right there. At how many yards?
200 yards.
That is a fine shot. What were you shooting?
I shoot a 6.5 Grendel.
Okay. All right. And then let's see. So now you got the doe loaded up in the back.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and the 8-point. That's not a bad tailgate picture right there.
Well, you know, guys, they kill so much, you know, larger deer in other areas and stuff. And even in Florida, I mean, we've got some guys who are really good hunters, like Ben Still and others who you'll see continually produce really nice bucks. Him and his wife Stacy both do.
Yeah.
And there's others, but for me, for a Florida buck, I was happy with it. It was a nice size for me, and it dressed out really nice.
Oh, that really did. And
we've got between the 4 of them, we got a freezer full, so it's like feel really blessed this year.
And the beauty of it, you clean them, dress them out, and
yeah, I do
process
everything
them.
myself. The only thing I don't do is the sausage, and I take that to Norris Smokehouse up in Bluntstown. They do snack sticks, sausage, all of that, and everything else I butcher and clean myself and put up myself.
You see what I mean by talking about a true outdoorsman doing it, from tracking them and finding them and taking a gamble, shooting them, and then processing them and cleaning them and all. That's what I'm talking about. Not many people are doing all of that now, and I'm one of them. We used to clean them all the time, So, and then these little processors made it so easy. Most of us got lazy, and at times I yearn for those days of where you and your brother and your cousins and all get together and clean up that deer and all. And we had some special time doing that.
I don't know, locally, I don't know anything about the local processor, so I'm not speaking about anybody directly. But I know that a lot of processors I've checked with in the past, they don't guarantee you get your deer back.
Yeah.
We feed ours good, we take good care of them. I want my deer back. So that's
right.
The only way I can guarantee that is to do it. So it's labor intensive and it takes a lot of time. But when you're done and you sit down at the table, that's where the payoff is.
That's exactly right. Let's take a quick break. I'll be right back with Daniel. Okay, welcome back. Here with Daniel Cole. We're talking about all kinds of things. We're going to talk about boats in a little bit. We're going to finish up on the hunting and all. We're talking about, taking care of your property and putting trees on it. And we mentioned last week about Florida Arbor Day, about planting trees and all, and we've got more coming up. But your land, how many acres y'all have?
450.
And y'all take care of it.
Yeah, it's nice because there's just 2 of us, so we've got plenty of room. And let's get around.
Okay, we've got, when you process deer, you and your family, what's your favorite part of the deer? I mean, will you process
I don't have a favorite part. I mean, people talk about backstrap and how great it is, and I love backstrap, but, reality is a good rump roast is as good as anything to me off a deer. It's all good. A lot of times I'll separate the backstrap because friends ask for it specifically, and I'll hand that out. But mostly when I do everything, I just cube everything up, freeze it, vacuum seal it, and anytime my wife wants to make soup, chili, or anything, stew, spaghetti, she just pulls one out, thaws it out, it's ready to go.
That's funny. We had chili last night from the deer I took in December. It's cold weather. It really tastes good. I just love it.
My wife made a vegetable beef soup with deer last night, and it was really good.
Ooh, yeah.
We ate well last night.
That's cool. That's cool. Okay, we're going to move on. We've got a lot of stuff to cover. and we've got the hunting in. And you can get one more. You still got a couple of weeks.
One more, yeah. I'll get up there. I'm resting from putting up all the we've already put on. But I'm ready to get out and put another one in the cooler. So.
Okay, I mentioned the Arbor Day about in Florida, but I want to mention this again. I just got a notice on it, or got a copy of it. The regular one in America is always the last Friday in April, and they're giving away trees down at Oaks by the Bay. So you get 2 free trees per household. This would be 8 to 12, and I'll certainly mention it again between now and then. But then I ran across this. Check this out. The same kind of poster, so it's a Forestry Service. Listen, on March the 22nd, they're doing 2 trees again. So we need to see what kind of trees we can get, any kind of trees that help your property, or anything to help the wildlife. So that's going to be good. And we can feel this right here, can't we? I'd rather sit on a hard ground waiting on a fish to bite instead of sitting on a soft couch watching TV.
That's a fact.
We're talking about that, getting outdoors and doing different things. We were looking at this. This recently came out about last week. Mature buck harvest rises. It's a new U.S. record, and it's put out by the National Deer Association. But anyway, the black print is a 1.5-year-old. The red is an older deer. But look way over to the right, and they're a year behind 2023. But look how the increase in the red chart way over here. There's a 43% increase on the older deer, and a decrease on the younger deer. And Daniel, this is what we talk about. You know, when you have your property and all that, let the little ones walk.
Yeah.
And I think that's a perfect example of what we're talking about. Across America, people are doing that, and they're able to do it. Even on public land, a lot of people aren't shooting these small ones.
Well, due to their characteristics, you know, they all have their own like little idiosyncrasies. Some of the deer that I took this year, we've probably watched 2 years on camera, come up, you know, to 3-4 years and get to that point. But we had like 19 deer the first day I sat on the stand. Twice I sat on the stand, we saw 19 different deer. There was a world of 2 points, 4 points, you know, all these smaller ones, 6 points, and we let them walk because, you know, they're just going to grow. It's not so much about the horns, but you know, each time a deer puts on 2 more horns, goes 6 point to 8 point or 8 point to 10 point, you're adding essentially 30 to 40 more pounds of harvestable meat on that animal. And that's really what we're about.
Exactly. You get more meat and a deer is more mature.
And if you've got good genetics, now it doesn't mean we won't take culls out who've got bad genetics, but if you've got good genetics, if you're always killing off your good genetic bucks when they're little and you don't know what you got, then they're never going to pass on positives. You're always going to be behind the curve. So you need to be letting the positives grow and multiply.
And I know some of these folks have these fenced-in areas, and they're doing the same thing. Of course, it's more controlled, but they're very controlled. But they're waiting until like 6 and 7 years old. Of course, there's a huge rack, but the deer are huge, and they actually have them numbered and all. Okay, you can take out number 47 or whatever. Right. The red's got red tag on it, but even that, it's been fascinating to watch that. Now this chart here, this is just the overall harvest. The dark brown is of course the bucks, and the orange is the doe. And I get tickled way back in 07, 08, that we were getting a lot more bucks, but now the doe, because so many doe days and people realize you need to check out so many does, it's almost equal as far as the actual harvest. In fact, in 2023, it was almost tied. So that was interesting too. So that was by state. It goes on to talk about by state. Anyway, 23 states, 37 shot more in 2023 than it goes on all kinds of statistics. And so anyway, that's good. Anytime you get some research, and then the things you're doing goes along with the same thing you see in the national research, especially in the Southeast, it's interesting to see all that kind of stuff.
Right.
So y'all can be part of the research. Alabama shot 37% more bucks, which is interesting, than it did 5 years ago. So in the Southeast region, talks about right here, has a lot more bucks harvested. Okay, let's end this little segment on a funny one now. If you grew up in an era where your mama says you're going to slap in the next week, check this one out. I got to ask my mama if she could still slap me in the next week. I need my check early. So, all right, let's take a quick break and we'll be right back. Okay, welcome back. Let's take a quick look at our fishing game time today before we get back up with Daniel. Brought to us by Blue Water Outriggers. Our time today, 3:37 to 5:37 this morning, and 5:57 to 7:57 tonight. Blue Water Outriggers in Port St. Joe. You get by there very often. It's a really good place. All right, now let's take a look. We've got on boats. Just mention boats. About if we're going to have a better year, you think, on fishing?
I'm hoping we do. Across the board. Dealing with so many of our commercial fishermen. Last year was really a slow year for them, and it's just a bad time when their economy is down, our economy is down. Mm-hmm. So I'm really hoping and praying that all our commercial guys, they have a great year this year. Certainly, it seems like there are indicators that there'll be, a better year, a better economy, and we'll see things happen. But I really hope that. I feel very close to them. They're very, such an intrinsic part of our community, and one of the oldest segments of our community. And so, really respect what they do. It's not an easy life. It's not a cheap life. You work really hard. Yeah. So, I'm hoping they have a better year this year.
And the reports I'm getting, just talking to them like you have just during the winter, they're really optimistic about this coming fishing season. Yeah. They really are.
They are, and I am too.
Yeah, and because of the limits and all over the years, have really helped out a lot. We got a bunch of more pictures. We'll show the ones we can. I want to go this one right here. This is, okay, my buddy Cullen Hartzog. Cullen.
That's a nice deal.
That's a nice buck. That's around Eufaula area. Good job, Cullen. And Cleet. His son Cleet. His daddy's name was Cletus, so he named his son Cleet. There's Cullen right there. He went to school with my kids way back in the day. Good family, Hartzog family. This is interesting on ducks. I'm gonna cover this on tomorrow's show. But here, I want to cover this one. On a positive note. I haven't seen a mosquito in weeks.
Yep.
We can all say that. When you're in the tree stand, how do you stay warm? Because I know you were cold.
Well, we built like really nice box stands, and so once you're in there, it doesn't take long. Your body heat will warm it right up. It's pretty well insulated, and we have all the windows closed. We don't have it. We're not open air. So when we get ready to shoot, we just open the window and then put your rifle out and
That's
shoot.
the key to it. You stay warm.
Yeah.
Okay.
It helps in the summertime. It's hot in here in the summertime, but they keep the mosquitoes out too.
Okay, check this one out. This is an article actually in a magazine. You can take this into your boss next year. Don't waste deer season by going to work. Some people that love to hunt. Ben Steele could use that, couldn't he? Of course, he's retired now.
Yep.
These were the ones I was talking about last week in the snow. This is special here. Andrea Wright, I know Andrea. What a day to remember, a day Lando will never, ever forget. He killed his first buck ever in front of the hounds, and it was during the snow. Now, is that not precious right there? It was snowing, the dogs were running, and this is Florida. And it's his first buck ever.
Look at that smile.
Look at that big old smile on his face. If that don't make you feel good, look at there.
Yep.
Good job, Andrea. And now, Jarrett Barnett, he's a local guy. I had him at school way back in the day, and his sisters and his dad, they're all outdoors people. Okay, you don't get many chances to shoot a buck in the snow in Florida. I got the opportunity this afternoon, thank you, Lord. Steve, the dad, I've shown Steve, they do a good job in outdoors. Here's a picture of it. How special is that? You think they were happy doing that?
You better believe it.
There were three, personally I know of 3 different bucks that harvested that day it snowed. And
I saw quite a few advertised, shown, but I wasn't out that day, so.
Yeah. And a friend sent me all.
Oh, I love that.
Us being Gators, we're gonna show it this morning.
Yeah, you got that right.
Forget about a snowman. Let's do the Gator. Okay. Now I was talking about a fish kill the other day, and okay, here's a bayou. It was on Beatty, right here in the middle. Okay. On the far right is Mill Bayou. Okay. In the center is Beatty, and then on the left is Anderson. But the Gay family, it should have been Gay right here. The Gay family built the boats here way back before Lynn Haven was formed. They built boats up here. But anyway, this is where the fish kill was. And this right here on that point, in the area there, and then off to the right. And that was interesting. I got a lot of comments on it. It has happened before. And the cold weather shock and lack of oxygen, and there's a lot of mullet and speckled trout. I didn't see any flounder in the picture, but when things like that. Thank you, Patrice Couch, for sending that to us and showing that to us, because that's a shame. But you can still eat these fish. I know you've got.
I was just fixing to ask.
Yeah.
Couldn't you still eat that? It's been frozen.
Back in the 70s, people would call and say, "Okay, we've had one," and people run there with big old wash tubs and fill them up because they're dead. It's just like getting them at a fish market. So I'm going to show one more snow picture, maybe one or two more. This was the other morning after the snow, and man, what a special time. I know y'all. Anyway, I'm going to show you that. I did a minute video, one solid minute of sun coming up over the snow, because we don't get that chance very often.
Nope.
I've got about a minute or two left. What's your plans for next week or next month or so, outdoors and working?
Well, I hope to collect one more buck, and other than that, just looking to get business kicked off this year. Get moving into 2025, and hopefully we're all going to have a good season and a good economy this year.
You get any of the snowbirds or any of the loopers? Are you doing kind of
once in a great while, but they're not. I mean, I really got to say our bread and butter is our locals, our fishermen and stuff. That we do get a lot of people who we'll travel to and stuff, but we.
I don't know the loopers. They probably get everything taken care of in the home port and everything, then make that big loop.
They'll make that big loop. There's a lot of people that'll do that one time and then sell their boat to somebody else, and they'll do it again.
Yeah.
Those boats a lot of times make that loop several times under different owners.
Different owners. I hadn't thought about that. That's a good way to do it. You go ahead and do one of your dreams of a lifetime, and then go ahead and sell the boat.
Well, you got the experience as a person who ran it, what the boat needs before you go back.
Yeah.
And they outfit them, and you've got a lot of experience there, so that's a plus.
Cool. All right, I got to wrap it up. We'll see you next month. Thanks,
Sounds good. Thanks for having me.
Congratulations on all the big deals. Good job.
They're not that big, but they're good.
That's not. Appreciate y'all watching our show. Thank you for everything y'all do for us. And make sure you support our sponsors. Do something good for someone else today. Have a great day. Enjoy the outdoors. Take care of it. And God bless.
Thanks for watching America's only daily outdoor TV show, Panhandle Outdoors with Winston Chester, featuring hunting, fishing, and other activities and information to help you enjoy the great outdoors. Join us next time for Panhandle Outdoors.